Class 12, today we'll start with solid states, and it's your new chapter. It's the first chapter in your book, and this chapter basically we'll study about the solids, its different ways of representation. Please, once I'm telling you one thing, please don't focus on the things like early we used to study about solids that they have the definite shape or definite volume, or its density is high or compressibility is low. These types of questions is not required, because these are the small things which we have discussed in class 8th and 9th. Now we have to focus it on a broader concept. So we'll first of all start with the, in this solid state we'll focus on the solids, and we'll see what type of solids are there. So in our course we have two types of solids. One is your crystalline, and second is your amorphous. So this way we'll study these two solids, and we'll see the detail of it, that it's an important question also for your boards. Sometimes differences or fill in the blanks is being asked over here. So first of all we'll focus on crystalline, then we'll focus on amorphous. Now we are focusing on the crystalline solids. You can write down crystalline solid, and it's also known as the true solids, other name for it. And we have to focus like why we can say, first of all, they have a very definite geometries, or you can say definite arrangement of particles. This is the first point. We throughout the solid, and they have different things also, definite geometry, or you can say geometrical configuration. We'll focus on these points. We have you can say basically they have a different properties in or say they, you can say they shows different properties in different directions. They show different, so they are called as enzeotropic, and this is the 3 points which I have written. I'll explain you the other points also, but first of all we have to focus that whatever points I have written, that what does it mean. So we'll see with the help of the examples. I think you can copy these points, and we'll see with the help of the examples. So class, I am starting with this object, and I think few things must be clear. I don't have a proper object, and assume it as an object, and just see why we were saying that it has a definite configuration, or it has everything in a proper manner. The point is that if you see, or a definite geometry, just see this particular object has a proper length, and this side if you see its length, its breadth, this portion is breadth, this is length, and this is your height. So this thing is there, that each and every solids in crystalline, if they are crystalline, they have these proper things are there. They have proper edges are there, they have proper lengths. Edges are these things only, your length, breadth and height, these are called edges. They have this proper concept, so it shows a definite you say configuration, and a definite arrangements of you can say particles are there. You should understand when we are talking these things about the edges, this is length, this is breadth, and this is height. So these particular, why the structure is arises because of the solid, because over here the particles are arranged in a proper manner. They have a regular pattern, or a proper, you can say a proper arrangement, so that it gives you in this particular structure. Similarly in the salts, when we see whether it is NaCl or KCl or other examples, any electrovalent solids you can use, so they have a proper you can say these things, proper geometrical configurations are there, proper arrangements of particles are there. Now I want to tell you that they have a clear cleavage also. Now what is the cleavage? When you cut it with the help of the knife, it cuts into very in a proper manner, कि whatever you'll cut it, every time the all the portions, suppose if I am cutting, I am assuming it as NaCl, and if I cut it into two parts, right? So when you divide, it's not the matter is it will divide in the equal part. The point is that when you cut it, whatever portion is being there, suppose if we are looking this portion, this particular portion will show the same, you can say the geometries or the same your configurations or geometrical configuration or the same arrangement of pattern, and this will also show the same. They will resemble the same as you have the main particulars salt, right? This is your clear cleavage. So what we also come across one more point, that is your clear cleavage. So they shows your clear cleavage also, these solids, right? And we are talking about the crystalline solids or the true solids on cutting. So I think this point is also clear to you, that what happened when you cut it up. Now we have to focus about their melting points and boiling points also. You have already learned earlier that they have very sharp melting and boiling points, but we are not going for the detailed points, but you have to make it clear in this points that all the electrovalent compounds come over here, your metals, whether it is copper or your aluminum, they also come over here. Now we have seen one more point in this which we have seen. Now you can see this particular diagram I have made, and if you discuss you with this word enzeotropic. Now what does it means? Now we are focusing on the enzeotropic nature, and we see that this arises in the crystallines solids. And I made this small structure, like actually what happened here, what are these properties. Actually when a substance whether they are in solid or liquid or gaseous state, they always possess certain magnitudes and for the properties of properties, जैसे relative index is there, thermal expansion is there, your electrical resistance is been there, then electrical conductivity is there. So these are the different properties, and if you focus on the enzotropies, these properties have different magnitudes and different directions, right? So these are basically all whatever I have called the names, they are the. Now we can see that all these properties, these are the physical properties, and they have the so you can say different magnitudes in different directions, and that's why we were calling it as enzeotropic. So crystalline solids are enzeotropic in nature, and they are very, this property is important because it help you out to understand many things, like how these particular different physical properties are changing. And it's also good enough that you should also remember over here one more thing about crystalline solids, that crystallines have long range order, they possess long range order is there. And I'm telling you, you can use any of the examples. You can use Al, you can write down Cu, you can write down NaCl, you can write down KCl, ZNS, okay, CSCl, etc. You can use many. If you have books, you can focus on the from your books also. So this is one of the concept which we have discussed about the crystalline solid. Now we'll focus on the other point, that is amorphous solid, which is also known as super cooled liquids or pseudo solids also. Now they are just opposite to your crystalline solids. They don't behave as this thing crystalline as the crystalline solids are there. First of all, they do not follow regular pattern. As earlier it was showing a regular pattern because their arrangement of these particles were very definite, or they have a proper this thing. So initially if you see that they are not showing a regular pattern, what does it mean? Suppose if I am seeing any crystal whenever I am seeing any solid which is amorphous in nature, so if it contains different particles, maybe possibly positive, negative, these concepts are always there. So they don't have a proper arrangement, like anything can be there. This way they can arrange over here positive, then many negatives are there, or negatives are there, or over here positive, then negative, then positive, anything way. But if we talk about that they have a regular pattern, like in previous crystalline form, then they have a regular pattern. If they are following this way, so they will follow for the entire case in this manner only. they will not change, right? So this is the way of your you can say irregular pattern, or they do not follow the regular pattern. You can use anything. Then in the previous case we have seen the cleavage cleavage was there, they shows the clear. Over here they do not show clear cleavage. And you know now what is the clear cleavage, that they are not showing it. If you cut it with the help of a knife, over there you are getting whatever you are doing there, you are getting a very smooth form, right? And all the arrangement was same. But over here it's not smooth, it is a rough form, and it is not clear cleavage has been there. So what we get, a rough cleavage over here. So these are the some points which we can see. We can also see, like over there you have the sharp melting point and boiling point. Over here you will have the low melting points and boiling points. And we'll also focus about certain other things also. Now these amorphous solids, they shows the same property in all directions, so they are isotropic. Over there you have seen that different properties in different directions, but over here they shows same properties in all the direction. Now what are the, once again I'm focusing on the properties. Actually what happened, I think in the crystalline I have not mentioned that the solids possess certain magnitudes of properties. Like there are different properties, like resistance is there, reflective index is been there, your electrical properties are there, you have your thermal expansions are there. So all these properties have the same magnitudes in your same direction. If you talk about in the crystalline, these particular properties have different you can say they shows different magnitudes or different properties in different direction. So a term is given to us for the amorphous solids, that is they are isotropic in nature. So I think there are few things must be clear to you. Now what type of solids can be put in amorphous? So amorphous are like glass is also a solid. So this is one of the property of amorphous solids, that they shows same properties in all directions, so they are isotropic in nature. Now we have to focus that what are the properties. Like initially I have explained you with the help of a small diagram, but let's focus in a detailed form, that there are the solids, or whether they are liquids or gases, they possess certain types of properties, and they have the magnitudes of that. Like reflective index has been there, your electrical properties are there, your electrical conductivities, like, and your resistance. So when we are talking about amorphous solids, then these particular properties have the same magnitudes, or they show same magnitudes in same direction, in all the directions they are same. So a concept or a term was given to us, that is isotropic in nature. We come across certain examples for it also, like glass is there, wood, plastic, rubber, they also come in this category. I think these two concepts are quite clear to you all, that what are crystalline, what are amorphous solids. Now we'll focus on other concept of solid state. Now we have to focus on the new topic, that is lattice, or it's also known as space lattice, and it is also known as crystal lattice. So these three words is given to a same you can say term. I have written the definition also. The three-dimensional arrangements of structure, unit, or constituent particles like atoms, molecules, or ions in a crystal is known as your lattice and space lattice. Now I think from definition this concept is not clear to you because it's very new to you. So I'll show you an example, then we'll discuss in a detailed form for this particular definition. This is the lattice, or you can say space lattice. Now just see the definition. It's a three-dimensional structure. When we call a particular thing as a it's having a three-dimension structure or three-dimension arrangement, when it has length, breadth, and height. And I have already shown you the object, that the previous object which I have shown you, the black one, it was containing your length, breadth, and height. You know in this diagram, this portion is your length, this is your breadth, this point is your breadth, this is your length, and this point this way is your your height. So it has all the three things: length, breadth and height. So you can see that this is a crystal, 1 point. Then you are seeing these red colors. What are they? These are simply the particles that are placed over here. Now these particles can be anything. It can be an atom, it can be a molecules, it can be ion, right? You are getting my point. So these particular arrangement of these atoms or molecules, this leads to give you a three-dimension structure, right? I'm once again telling you, these are the particles. They are either atom, molecules or ions, and these particular atoms or these particular molecules or ion, when these particles join together, they always give you a proper arrangement of three-dimension structures, and this leads to give you this space lattice or crystal lattice, any term you can use, right? So these they are attached with each other with the points. You are seeing that now this there is a particular point. So where they are placed, these particles are placed at a particular point, and this point, what does it point? This point mean they are basically your space, or you can say lattice point or lattice site. So are you getting my point? I'll give you a diagram in a big form also. The point where these particular particles are attached, this point is known as your lattice site or your lattice point. Now we'll focus on the next topic, that is unit cell. In this cell, only unit cell, I'll teach you all the points in detail. Now what I have done, the diagram which I have shown you previously, from that I have took one box from there. So that box, that particular thing is known as your unit cell. Now what does this unit cell? It shows the same geometry, same arrangements as you are seeing in your space lattice or in your lattice. Fine. So just once again I am telling you, now in this things are clear to you because the diagram is big. This is your length, this is your breadth, and this portion is your height. Fine. These were the particles. That can be your solid, that can be your atom, molecule or your ions you can use, and they are attached. These are attached in a fixed you can say or definite position, and this particular place or position where these particles are placed are known as what? The I'm not talking about this thing. This black color is what? These are the particles, and I am just talking about the place or the position where these particular particles are placed. That is your lattice site, right? So single uh, cell you have took from the lattice, and that particular cell is the unit cell. It has the same geometry, same dimensions, same conditions. Everything will be same as you are seeing in your crystal or your lattice or your space lattice or your crystal lattice. Now we'll see more things also, like about the edges and all that. That will be also important, because you should know that these length or breadth and heights, we are giving a technical term, that is edges. And for to understand in a broader form, you should understand when these edges are united, they always gives you certain angles also. So that angles also you have to remember. And what are these angles? They are known as parameters of unit cell. We'll discuss it also. Now in unit cell, the particular three dimension is being shown by your edge lengths, and I have written over here like it is represented by A, B and C. We have already discussed this is the length and this is the breadth, this is the height. You can use other way also, but every time you have to change. Now these edges may be same or they not be same, because I have made a very different diagram. You can, this is a cuboid, you can use cube also, where these edges will be same. So my edges are not same, they are different because it is a cuboid. So what happened when these edges are there, they also have certain angles also. Like if you see this part, I have made a this portion. If you see this edge A, C and B, in this particular you are having an alpha angle. So it is a alpha angle. It is where? It is between B and C. So this portion is your alpha, right? And if you are seeing, focusing on this thing, your this part A and C part, so this portion if you are seeing, then it is what? It is coming your gamma, right? If you see this portion, this beta is basically, it's not this thing, but it is more prominent between you can say your A and C portion. So this way also you can have a beta. So these are the angles. This is again not at all required to learn, but still you should understand because you are studying the base of it. So it will help you out how you can see the edges and what type of angles are formed. So this is one of the thing which we have discussed. This is the parameter of the unit cell. Now we will focus on the types of unit cells or classifications of unit cell. Now we are starting with the classification of unit cell on the basis of number of atoms, like how many atoms are there. So the first one is simple cubic cell, or it is also in short form SCC is being written. And we have the next one is face centered cubic cell, which is also known as FCC. And third is body centered cubic cell, that is your BCC. Now these are the point is that we are just talking about the this thing, we are talking about the unit cells, like what type of unit cells you will see and how these things are there. So they have classified into three. These cells only, this particular unit cell leads to your proper system also, right? If you are focusing on simple cubic cell, then the system will be formed, that will be a cubic system, simple cubic system will be formed. Face centered, if you are using the unit cells that is face centered cubic cell, then they will form your face centered cubic cell system. So this is another concept, but we are mainly focusing on the simple cubic cells and face centered cubic cells and body centered cubic cells, and we'll see with the help of diagrams, and this will be very helpful to us, and then we'll see how we can calculate the numbers of atoms also. Now this is the simple cubic cell which I have made earlier also we have discussed. And what happened, why it is simple, because over here the particles or the constituents are present on the corners, right? No other place, only the corners. You can see these particular particles, whether they are atom, molecule and ions, they are present in the corners of the particular your cubic cell, right? So this is the case of simple cubic cell. Now if we want to see the, now the next one is face center cubic cell. I am just putting this object, and this object, I think you must be clear with the object now, right? So this particular object, now why or how you can judge that, how where the particles are being attached. Just see, if you look it over here, these are the corners, 1 2, this 3 4 5 6 7 8. I am not having the square object, but I am just trying to show you this particular object so that you can understand that what are or where you can place your atoms. So once again, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This is the case of the simple cubic cells. Also over here also you are using all the eight this thing 8 particles, but the name is written face. Now you can understand this is the face of this particular object. 1 is there, 2 3 4 5 and 6. So every time one atom will be placed on the faces. One will be here, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. So total how many face it has? 6 faces. So 6 atoms you have to place on the faces also, right? Means one in one face. So this side 1, then 2 3 4 5 6, right? So how many atoms are placed over here? I'm just giving you it, but detail we'll calculate it. So by looking it, 8 are there in the corners and 6 are placed on the face. So total this much atoms are placed. Now we have to focus on the second one. Now that this is the third one, that is body centered cube cell, which is also known as BCC. I made the structure once again of the simple cubic cell, but the name is written as body. You know, we have these things, we have seen the particles on the 8 corners were there, and on 8 corners these particular particles were there. Again there may be atom, molecule or ion. Now the name coming across body, what does it mean? It means one of the atom will be inside this particular solid, right, or this particular object, inside of it. It's not outside on the faces. No atoms will be placed outside the faces, right? So 8 will be on the corners and 1 will be inside the body of the particular your unit cell. So this case is what your body centered cubic cell. I'm showing you because this is the first case where you have to understand what does these three means. Later on we'll discuss with the different points also. Now we are starting with a new topic, calculations of number of particles in the unit cell of different types of cubic system, and I'm just focusing on the first thing. You have to calculate that how many atom can be held by this particular unit cell, that is simple cubic cell. So by this you can see that 8 corners are there and you are placing the atoms on the 8 corner, but it doesn't means that this particular unit cell will hold 8 atoms, because you know I am taking one particular unit cell, but they are attached in a group, they are present in a lattice. So you are whatever has been there, these particular atoms which are been attached on the corners, they are shared by other unit cells also. This thing you have to keep it in mind. We have discussed or seen that particular diagram, in that you were seeing that many unit cells were combining together, right? So these particular unit cells, they are always sharing the atom with the other unit cell. So you cannot say that these atoms are of for this particular unit cell, they are being shared by other unit cells also. So there is a formula that has been given to us, and that is the formula is unit cell content, which is always represented by z, equals to, it's my page is small, so you please make this thing that it should come in the full line. So equal के बाद ही you have to write down, that is number of atoms. I'm writing over here so that it would be easy. Now this is the formula. The unit cell contained, which is represented by z, is equals to number of atoms at corner into the contribution. Contribution, as I have already mentioned you, that these particular atoms is being on sharing basis. So how much they are sharing, that we have to see. So each time what happened in the corners, how many atoms are there? 8. And this contribution, I'll tell you why I'm writing 1 by 8. Just see, this particular atom, this single atom must be shared by 8 other unit cell. That's why I'm writing 1/8 part will be contributed by this place. Rest of the portion is being in sharing basis with the other unit cells. That's why I'm writing. So total, if you cancel it up, how many atoms will you get, or what is the value of this z value is very important, because this comes in your numerical portion. So over here we are calculating it, and but we have to use, we have, please learn this value for SCC. The value of z is, or the number of atoms is how much? 1. So this particular unit cell, how much you are seeing 8 atoms, but what is the exact position of this particular unit cell, how much atom it can hold, or it is being used, or it is being shared by this particular atom, is only 1. So 8 you are seeing, but only one of the atom is being there in this particular unit cell. Now we are seeing FCC, face centered cubic cell. In this Z we have to calculate, we are calculating the number of atoms that a particular unit cell can hold. So what is the formula? Like number of atoms at the corner into contribution. This will be the same for every 3 unit cells, whether it is BCC, whether it is SCC, whether it is FCC. Because I have already mentioned you in my previous thing that these particular atoms, no matter 8 are there, but they are being shared by other unit cells also. So that's why I'm writing over here the number of atoms at the corner into contribution plus, my page is small, that's why please you write down in your copies, you make it sure that over here it is plus number of atoms in face, again in contributions. Now face, I have already mentioned you with the help of the example that where you are keeping it, but again these particular unit cells are always combined together. So their atoms also, the atoms which are present on the face also, they are also being shared by some other unit cells. So how the point is there, or what you will do, so just see about it. We are just writing it that 8 atoms are there in the corners and they were shared, that was your 8, plus number of atoms on the faces were this thing 6, and they are half. Over here you will not write down 1 by 4 or 1 by 3, because you can see if two things are there. If I give you an example, suppose I am assuming these books as your this thing unit cells, and we are seeing that these two unit cells are there. Now why I am saying paces, suppose the one of the atom is placed over here. Why it is 1 by 2? Because if one atom is here, one atom is here, one atom. Now just see these two unit cells are attached together. So what happened, the single atom is being shared by these two faces, this face also, this face also. So they are attached in this manner. So single atom is being shared by this particular this thing. So we have six faces. So every time half will be there with the unit cell which is having the FCC, but we have to see how much is there. So please see, I think this must be clear to you. These are the phases. I am just taking an example and you are keeping over here these two. So the atom whatever is been there, they being shared by these particular phase, right? So just come over here. That's why I'm written 6 into half. So every time it's been half because it's been shared by two faces. So what the answer we are getting over here, that is your 1 plus you are getting 3. So total how much is there? 4. So Z value for FCC is how much? 4. Z is what the number of atoms that a particular face centered cubic cell can hold. So how many atoms it will hold total? That is 4, right? So in some books also it's also written as a formula, Z is equals to number of atoms at the corner plus number of atoms in face. So don't get confused with that formula, because it is also there, but you have to see in the detail form. Like this formula will be the best formula to calculate its value. Now we'll focus on BCC. Now this is the next topic. With BCC we have to calculate. Formula is written the same formula I have already mentioned you, the number of atoms at the corner into contribution plus number of atom in the body. Now this must be very clear to you that it's one of the easiest form, that 8 multiplied by 1 by 8, and body one single atom is been there, so you write down 1 over here. You're getting 1 plus 1, how much? 2. So what is the value of Z? Is 2. Value of Z is 2. So in BCC what will be the value of Z, or how much number of atoms the particular body centered unit cell can hold? That is 2. Now there are certain numericals that come in your board examination. This type of thing is just a concept to remember the formulas. Now I am focusing on two numericals that comes, and these are important numericals because these type of numerical comes in 1 marks question. So this is a question I have written. In a compound, Al atom present at the corner, each corner, and Cl atom is present at the each face, and write the formula of the compound. Please make sure that atom I have written, they can write down ion also, particles, whatever they want to use. And in place of these elements I have given you Al and Cl, they can give you any alphabet from A to Z. So this is also the case. Now first of all, how to do, you have to focus on it, what they have given you. That Al, they are saying it's placed at the corner. So for your hint you can write down over here. Then Cl is present on the face, right? So this will help you out. Now in case of number of atoms, number of aluminium atom, it's better, aluminium atom, they are present at the corner. So what was the formula? That number of atoms they are present in the corner into your contribution. So I'm not writing the formula, but you know the number of atoms in the corner multiply by 1 by 8 we have seen, like that na. So you can apply it over here. So corners may 8 into 1 by 8 you can write down. So how many atoms are there? 1, right? Now number of Cl atom you can use. They are saying face. For face what we have seen, that this is the common for all the cases, they are present on face. So face may means 6 atoms, and they are always in the sharing basis 1 by 2. So how much you are getting? 3. Now over here please don't write down that Z is equals to 4. Over here you have to make the formula. So how many atoms of Al are there? 1. How many atoms of Cl are there? 3. So what will be your formula? Al Cl 3. They are asking you this thing. So you have to write down this answer. They are always focusing on the answer only, they are not saying the procedure. But please make sure that you write down the procedure also. I am not writing over here, but you know the formula is the number of atoms at the corner multiply we do the contribution. Then in the next step we write down 8 into 1 by 8. Over here also number of atoms or number of particles, whatever is being given to you on the basis of your question, you can write down the number of atoms in the face multiply by contribution, or 6 multiply by 1 by 2. So this way you get the formula. Now once again we can see in a different face also. If they give you a body, body point, then you have to focus on the, instead of giving you face, they said कि भाई Cl is present, but they will not give you this thing Al, because Al. Now this is the another question which I have written, and you can see in a compound Na atom present at each corner and Cl atoms present at body, write the formula of the compound. Now the thing is changed. First of all, again you can, now you have an idea like Na is present in the corners. Again we, for our sake, we are writing it as an answer, and Cl is present at the base, sorry, at the body. So this way we are writing. Now we know it that for the number of Na atoms, it can be ions also, they can write down anything, whatever their choice. So you know that corners you have 8 electrons and it's been contribution by 8. You please write down the formula, then over here you'll get the one value. Then number of Cl atom they are present in the body, that is 1. So what will be the formula? Na, how many atoms are there? 1. Cl, how many atoms are there? 1. So NaCl will be the formula you can get. So instead of writing directly NaCl, please show the steps also, so that you could get good marks. Now I have once again written one more numerical. Atom A present at each corner and atom B is present at each face, or when atom A is missing from corners, write the formula. Now the language is changed. Again, once again we'll focus on it. A is present corner and your B is present on face. This is a problem. Why? Because the problem arises, one of the atom is missing. I mean, instead of in corners, how many atoms are there? 8, but one is gone. So now the atoms are not 8, now over here it is 7. So what we can do, A is equals to, instead of initially we were using this way, but now we cannot use this thing because one of the atom is missing. So in place of 8, what we will write down? 7, right? So now the A is how much? 7 by 8. This is the case. अब the question arises about the B. B is right, it has no problem. B has in the face, so you will write down 6 into 1 by 2, you are getting 3 atoms. So B is how much? 3 atoms. So over here you are getting A 7 by 8 and B is equals to 3. So what will be the formula? A will be 7. You have to write down in this manner only. A in fractions and B is 3. Child can write down in this manner also. If you want to change it in the whole numbers, then what you can do, it is present in the you can say that the fraction, multiply the entire thing with 8. So once you multiply with this thing is clear to you all now, that's why it is coming 7 by 8, because A is getting 7 by 8 value and B is getting 3. Once again I am telling you that one of the atom was missing. अब suppose if the teachers tell you 2 of the atoms are missing, so you will not write down 8. What you will write? 2 atoms you will miss it. So what you will write down in place of 7, you will write down 6. Please make sure this thing is very important. You have to see the question that how many atoms are missing. So over here a single atom was missing, that's why we have written 7. If 2 atoms were missing, then 6. If 3 atoms were missing, then 5. This way you are quite well versed in English and you can understand the language and you can see. So this way you get the answer. Now suppose a person wants to, in place of fraction, that person wants to write down in whole number, but please you write down this answer also. For that what you can do, I am just rubbing it from here. What you can do, you simply multiply it by 8. So when you do it with this thing, 8, say you multiply it, so this will be cancelled right up and you will get A 7 and B will be 3 8s are 24. So this will be also your answer. So this is the perfect answer, because in our cases we are always writing in a fraction form, but sometimes optionals may they give you this way also. So you should understand why this is coming in this manner. So you are doing in this manner, you are multiplying the whole lot with 8, and you can easily, you know maths, that 7 upon 8 multiply by 8, 8 will be cancelled, you will get 7 over here, and you will multiply with this 3, the 3 8s are 24. So you'll get these answers. Now this portion is completed and we'll do other portion in next video.